Hi everyone, thanks for joining. Hanging out inside today, and I wanted to show you guys a really special artifact. And actually, there's no dolly or anything under this. It actually just spins. It's got a point on the bottom of it there. And I wanted to take a look at this face effigy with you guys. I think it's really amazing. It's one of the nicer gateway examples that we have. We just picked this up the other day on site. In different shadows and in different lights, things will come out a little better, but we'll move it around a little bit so that you guys can see it. And what I think I'm going to do as well is I'll put a white cloth down so that we can see it even better. We'll go kind of freehand here. Thanks for watching. So one of the very first things that I want to point out about this stone is it seems to have been cut in half. The entire stone, all the way down, has a cut that goes all the way through it. I'll show you on this side here. All the way down the effigy. And so it's unique in that way that it seems like it was broken directly in half. But of course, if you guys can see this face shape on this stone here, you can see how the eye carving and in the light there, and when I zoom in I think it'll get a little brighter. So you're able to see the pupil that's actually carved into the center there. There are also paintings, so these white sections are going to be paintings of other silhouettes on there, but of course we have the chin here represented. So these story stones, if you guys aren't familiar with them, they have images of several different humans on them. They are literally just like you would take pictures in your cell phone. It's the same kind of thing. They took pictures, or carved pictures rather, of their family members and put them on stones. Now this type of art did get a lot of attention back in the 70s and early in our history. Well, about 30 or 40 years ago, I'd say. Maybe 50 years ago. Had a lot more people researching it, but of course we didn't have cell phones back then. And we didn't have YouTube back then either. So you'll see all the different silhouettes that are on these. It's just portrait after portrait. You can see the mouth is right here. And then when we look in the details for that eye, you should be able to see a little circle, the carving there. But the reason why it doesn't just look like one thing, and you can see the headdress on this woman, what I presume to be a woman here, is because, of course, it is these several different images in one stone. So this one has so much going on with it. I think it's a really beautiful one. And so I just wanted to kind of share it with you guys. So getting it in the correct light is a little difficult, but we can zoom in so that that light kind of repairs itself. Of course, you can see the circle eye right there. That's done. Of course, the nose poking up. And you can see how the rest of that is the hair. And we can go ahead and try to get some better light. I'll go ahead and pull my big lighting fixture down here. And there we are with a little more light. It makes it just a little bit easier to see that eye that's carved in under there. And so when we tilt the art just a little bit, you can see how that silhouette of that human comes back. And with this extra light, you'll be able to see a lot more of the color as well. This is, as you can imagine, a prehistoric person. It's just an image of that person. And we have a lot of the same kind of characters on here. They don't look exactly like proportioned faces, for sure. Looking closely here, though, you can see some of the tool marks, maybe, what you would call it. They didn't leave a lot of tool marks on this stuff. This was art. And so, anyone can make an arrowhead. An arrowhead was very easy to do. These people, when they made their art, they knew how to work with stone like no one's business. Like you wouldn't believe, right? Until you see it. You can see how we have these silhouettes and these portraits of these humans. The you could make a stone in the Stone Age extremely easily. An arrowhead, rather, pardon me. There's that split that you guys can see, and kind of moving it around here to this side, you should be able to see how these silhouettes pop out. There's several in all different directions and in different ways. So we can see how this is the hair of the person. This is a painted piece of white quartz. So these white quartz pieces that have this black, or what they call, sometimes they call it pitch. This coating is what we recognize on the white crystals as crystals that are fashioned by these human beings from ancient North Carolina. These folks lived with Mammoth, and it was only about 12,000 years ago that these people were in our areas, these what they call Paleo-Americans. Learning about this art is very curious because you get to learn about a lot of things that aren't talked about. You know, everyone kind of relies on hearsay or on their ideas of what, you know, how these ancient people were, or their intelligence levels, and they really just are guessing. But when you're able to see this art and study it yourself, and going out to collect it yourself, you'll be able to kind of read it from the source. So that's why it's really important. These little eye carvings under here, when you look underneath, I'll try to zoom in there so that we can see. There are little micro carvings of the pupil of the eye, the smooth section in that. There's so much going on with this. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of rambling a little bit, but just want to express that this stuff does have value, and it is good for you to learn it. If you don't know about it, it has a lot of value. It'll increase your awareness levels, improve your health. It'll teach you a lot of things. You can see how there's a 3D type of art, so you can make that nose kind of poke out. So we have this cheekbone, the eye, of course, dug in. So there is just a little silhouette just on this one section, and this other portion here is kind of the bird. So in this section we have what might be regarded as a bird man, and this is a completely napped edge here, I just noticed. We always try to point out the tool marks because those are irrefutable evidence of human interaction, but this is kind of like a picture of the man becoming the bird. So he ends up growing a beak. That's what's repeated over and over again in this art. So you can kind of get an idea of what's going on there with this as you're able to look at it through this lens. Right? And I think over here he just becomes the full bird man. And if you look closely, you can see all the little micro carvings, all the little lines. The lines going straight down this way, straight down this way. The evidence is very obvious. It's just upsets the guys who have lived their whole lives not knowing about this. They're really upset about never figuring it out. Hey, that's why we're here. You know, we don't expect any one person to figure out everything. So don't feel bad if you didn't know about it before. Nobody knew about it until they found out themselves. And fortunately, a lot of the people that know about it get dismissed and kind of get made fun of. I think this stone is very interesting because of the way that it has that slice through the middle of it. I believe it was cut in half. But it's with all the love. I wish you guys have a great week, and talk to you soon. Bye.